Our presentation is basically on the mobile file system. I and Hers had made it. And first of all, I have taken the program statement we are basically used in our project. Number one is to check the servability of the file transferring in the mobile system. A second to check the concurrency control on the file system. We have worked on both of the two statements, and in the starting we have put the introduction portion. Basically, for in the any distributed system, the transaction is the key function that uh, play into role. Concurrency control and concurrency control and uh, concurrency control play a major role in the any transaction portion. So for any database system, we need to satisfy some properties, ACID properties basically. Atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability, four part comes. In the atomicity, it is guaranteed by the commit protocol. Consistency is ensured by application program. Isolation is ensured by application program, and durability is ensured by user logging. Basically, how much time the user has logged into account, that is checked by the durability. Now we have proposed the two methods by which we ensure the concurrency control in. One is the two-phase locking protocol. Second is time-based mobile transaction commit protocol. Basically, we have worked on the two-phase locking protocol that we will describe in the further slide. Here comes the two-phase locking protocol. Basically, it ensures the conflict servability schedule. From here, we are able to rectify the servability schedules. There is the two phase. Phase one is growing phase. Second phase is shrinking. In the growing phase, the transaction can only obtain as many as lock it required. It does not release any of lock. Either it is shared lock or exclusive lock. Doesn't matter. It only acquired the lock as many as required, but it doesn't release any lock. In the phase two, the shrinking phase, in which the transaction mainly releases the lock, it does not require acquire any lock. It doesn't matter how long it takes to release all the lock, but it only releases the lock in the shrinking phase. There is a point that's called as a lock point that comes in between after growing phase and start of the shrinking phase, that come in between. When growing phase ended and shrinking phase start, at that point it's called as a lock point. That play a important role in checking the servability of any two transaction or many transactions. Here I've shown some drawback that happen generally. One is the deadlock condition. It is not free from the deadlock, as well as it is not free from cascading rollback. Likewise, these are some of the drawback, and however, in the absence of the extra information, two-phase locking is needed for the conflict servability in the flowing sense. Even transaction TI that does not follow two-phase locking. So we can find transaction TJ that uses two-phase locking and schedule for TI and TJ is not. So in this way, there are some drawbacks then also from. Now here is the lock conversion sub portion. In the first phase, that is growing phase. In that we can acquire the shared lock. Lock is described as shared lock. We can put the shared lock on any item. We can acquire exclusive lock on any item. Can convert the shared lock to the exclusive lock. That is called the upgradation. And in the second phase, we can only release either release or downgrade. In the releasing portion, we have released the shared lock, as well as in the second portion we can release the exclusive lock. Basically, this protocol assure the stability, but still rely on the programmer to insert the various locking instructions. These two are the phases that play a main role in the two-phase locking protocol. Now, here I have described the algorithm of read operation and the write operation. In this case, there is a read operation. Like transaction Ti has acquired lock on the D, then it will start reading D. It will start read operation. Otherwise, it will begin. It will check. It will wait for the other transaction to release the acquired lock, so that it will grant it to the Ti transaction on the if the Ti transaction will get the shared lock on the D, then it will start read operation. Otherwise, it will end. So there is a condition: if there is a shared lock, if there is a shared lock or exclusive lock on the D, then it can definitely perform the read operation. Otherwise, it need to be wait for the lock to release from the other transaction. Then only it can perform the read operation after acquiring the lock. Similarly, in the write operation, when the Ti transaction has acquired the lock on the D, then it start his write operation. Otherwise, it need to wait for the other transaction to release the lock. When other transaction release the lock, it will acquire second, it will acquire directly the exclusive lock. Otherwise, if it has acquired the shared lock on the D, it need to upgrade to the exclusive lock. When it upgrade to the exclusive lock, then it grant. Otherwise, if there is a directly exclusive lock, it will release the lock and Ti transaction acquired the exclusive lock. Otherwise, it need to upgrade the shared lock to the exclusive lock for performing writing operation. All the lock are released after commit and abort. If there is one transaction, the transaction is continuing, so there is only chances that all the lock will release after commit or abort of the any transaction. Basically, in this case, if we look at, there is T1 transaction and T2 transaction. There are two transactions. If the transaction 1 is going through the growing phase, in that condition, the second transaction can only acquire the shared lock. If the transaction 1 has already acquired a shared lock on that item, then only the transaction 2 can start the shared lock on that particular item. Because according to the rule, only shared lock can be acquired by the other transaction shared lock. Otherwise, exclusive lock cannot. If the exclusive lock is already acquired in a growing phase, it doesn't allow the other transaction to have the exclusive lock on this, or likewise the shared lock, then exclusive lock, exclusive to exclusive, either exclusive or shared lock is not allowed. Only shared lock to shared lock is allowed if our transaction is going through the growing phase. After, when the shrinking phase starts, the transaction 2 can start acquiring the lock, exclusive lock or shared lock, it doesn't matter. Likewise, it's two-phase locking protocol work. Now I've shown the implementation of the locking. Basically, there is a lock manager that play a vital role in that. That maintain a lock table that have the hash table that maintain all the lock requests or unlock requests of the different transaction. Lock manager basically reply to the lock request by sending the lock grant message. Otherwise, it send the message transaction to roll back in case of error. If there is deadlock condition, then lock manager will send a message to roll back to the transaction. Otherwise, it will grant the lock. Uh, in some case, if there is neither lock grant message has delivered or rollback message have delivered, in that condition the transaction have to wait for the request to be answered from the lock manager, because in that condition uh, basically the request had put end of the queue of the request, and usually the lock table is implemented as in memory hash table index on the name of data item being locked. Here we have shown the log table, and it is describing the basically log table. Uh, the black rectangle indicate the granted lock that have been granted, and white box indicate the waiting request. Log table record all type of lock granted or requested, like exclusive lock, share lock. It's recorded all the locks. New request has been come, and it is compatible with the earlier lock, then it is grant message has been sent. Otherwise, it will put in the end of the queue of the request like this, and unlock request result in being deleted, and later requests are checked to see if they can now be granted. If transaction about all the waiting, if transaction about all the waiting or granted requests of transaction are automatically deleted, the lock manager may keep a list of lock held by the each transaction to implement it efficiently. Basically, the lock manager play a vital role in this transaction, in this protocol, 2PL protocol, because it is maintaining a database. It is maintaining the database, all the record of the different type of lock is granted or requested. On basis of that, the whole operation performed. It is basically a data structure, lock table, and it's have the different application in the real life, that online, like the online transaction and market. Likewise, there is a lot of real application of this 2PL. Thank you. Now Harsh will continue.